He spun the mud up already. We gonna do another bucket.
Yeah, I already got them two. Well,
This
no
one?
more, I got these two now.
Okay.
But yesterday we didn't use two.
That's because I was disappearing.
Huh?
I was disappearing and doing things.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know.
Why get that far ahead?
I got another bucket right there.
All right.
Which one to show mixing whatever.
At some point, I mean, how many people don't know?
You gotta get here earlier in the morning.
First off, you gotta get up. Yeah. Do you ever use those potato masher type things?
I try not to.
I don't have, I think I might have them. It looks like a great big potato masher. You push it,
long.
you like churning a little butter or something, but it's way heavy butter. You sit there and you add a little water and you just pound on it, but you're not using this paddle. So this paddle here certainly.
Literally is a piece of wire comes down and it goes like this and back up to the handle, and it's just,
It looks like
it's about that big around. It's just got, it's just like a potato masher that they used to use before they had the.
Yeah, so the potato masher is about this big, and this thing's about this
They just made it a lot bigger.
Yeah, and it's a lot more work, you know. I mean, I'd rather mash potatoes.
I have to have an hour nap after I use one of them.
It would be good to have an hour nap anytime. I'd pay somebody to let me have a nap. But this, which if you've seen any of my other videos, I've used it before. This is what you're using, and you're going to want to clean it every now and then, which you can just run out there like he did earlier and smack it against the wall and knock all that off.
It's all wet right now because I can't get water.
So, and you're going to want to use a handy drill.
At least a half inch.
Yes, at least half inch.
3/8 will not work.
And I'm gonna tell you something, you can spin your mud with a battery powered 20-volt drill. It will burn it up. It will not do it right away, but it will burn it up.
Yeah, I mean, their workload is,
It will literally
it's got a
stop.
peak.
And I've had Milwaukee half-inch drills burn up too. It depends on the age of that drill and how much wear and tear it's got on it. So you'll have to add the water, which is usually about a sponge.
Depending on what you mix.
Some guys use a pan, and they'll dip in and do a third of a pan and drop it in.
So I'm mixing skimming mud, I use about a quart.
Yeah. So you might be 3/4 of a pan that you dump in a little at a time. You're mixing it. When you put this in, you're pushing it in. I usually push it in a few times with it connected to the drill.
Yeah.
And then I pour water in it, which either a sponge or.
Because if you don't push that thing in that mud a few times, and you get some new guy and you got a good drill, when they put that in there, it'll snap that wrist. I guarantee you.
Or throw them on the floor.
Oh, I think it snapped the wrist.
Or throw the water all over them.
Right after I told him, I said, you put water in there? Oh, I got this junk. Okay.
Yeah. Now, the manufacturers here used to have, this was flat across here. There was a plastic piece all the way around.
Wow.
Why was it not there? Now, because they're trying to save a little bit of money right there. There was a point where they took these two things off right here, these stiffeners for this bucket, and everybody started making stands to put these buckets into in Florida. Like, because if you didn't, this bucket would just wobble, it'd be wobbling like no matter what you did, you'd be standing right here with your legs up against it, and it would.
Oh, I put my foot on both of them.
Yeah, and he shoots it at an angle and drops down in and up and down, but that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna get that water down and mix it a little thinner. And then as you go to the later coats, you're gonna get it even thinner yet. So that's why you would add more water.
Perfect.
Yeah. Now, you also want to keep your water beside it pretty full. Now why? Because if you set that thing in there with the gun, if you're just sitting in there temporarily, it'll literally dump the water.
Yeah.
So you end up learning to keep your
I
water.
took it off of it.
He pulls it off, and that's a good habit because you can also drop the gun down
I
in
don't
there.
want water all over my work.
Yeah. And usually I keep a bucket around. If you notice there's a piece of sheetrock, that's a drywall habit. Now, that bucket, he's using it to keep it up higher so you don't have to keep working your back too long.
Bend over.
You want to last longer, man. It's like the old bull and the young bull. You remember that story?
Work smarter, not harder.
Right, yeah. The young bull says, I see all these heifers down there at the bottom of the field, let's run down there and get one. The old bull says, let's walk down there and get them all. So you spend less wear and tear on your back if you'll just bring it up a little bit. So you got another bucket sitting right there, and you raise it up. And you can do the same with your water, but you also want to keep cleaning, which I'll probably do, is keep taking your sponge
Don't
and
do that.
or your knife and clean this edge here. That's a good habit, but you can do it with a knife. You don't like that.
I do it with a knife.
You can do it with a knife.
As I go. Let's set this up here in the bucket.
This is what, see how he's cleaning that with that 6-inch knife? You won't be able to do the same thing with an 8 or a 2.
No, yeah.
So that 6 will get all the way down the bottom, and if you keep working at it, the friction of that knife will
The
pull it
reason
out.
I clean it, because when it gets up on the sides, if you don't clean it, it dries. And then if you get some of it in your pan,
Yeah.
you're dragging dead chickens through the walls and it don't look good.
It makes little grooves and it irritates the living daylights out of it because you're trying to get.
Looks like you're doing, what is that stuff we did over there on Beauty World Asylum?
Stucco.
It looks like you're doing stucco, and you want a little drag line design in it. Well, we don't want that there.
So you're going to keep constantly cleaning your tools, constantly cleaning your pan, constantly cleaning your buckets. And by the way, one thing people forget is if you go to trouble to putting a lid on, make sure you clean your lid. Because when you go to snap that lid in, you're dropping dried mud down in it. And then you got to deal with it for the rest of that time that you're using that bucket, which is a few hours. Even if you're good, this takes hours to use up a bucket. If you're doing all corner beat all day, you might can use up several buckets, in a area. So we'll just take a break from that and show you more as we go along. Probably should show them how to do tape.